Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, in this episode we do a photo walk with my friend Trey Ratcliff. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, my name is Serge Ramedy. I'm a French photographer from the beautiful, the amazing, the incredible city of Paris, France. And I'm doing a challenge, 30 videos in 30 days. This is video number 15. I'm halfway through. And tonight I just wanted to share with you a photo walk I'm doing with Trey Ratcliff. He's doing a whole tour through Europe. And today is Paris and we're together. I've been following Trey's work for a long time. I worked with Trey last year on a project. I think he's a great photographer, and we're going to share this moment with you, show you some of the photos I got, show you where we go, and voila. So come with us in Paris and Trey Ratcliff. Bonjour mes amis. So I'm with one of my mentor, Trey Ratcliff, which I've been following for the first HDR photo. I think you started off with one photo per day HDR, right?
That's right, that's right. Bonjour mon ami.
Bonjour Trey.
Bonjour Serge.
Yes.
Ça va?
Ça va super bien. Yes. So we are in Paris together for your photo walk.
Yes, and you have a big workshop tomorrow.
That's right.
Exciting.
Yes, exciting. I just hope the weather is going to be better.
Yeah, it's kind of moody, but I think any weather in Paris is good. It's
Yeah.
the most romantic city in the world, and you can come up with a story for the weather all the time.
Yeah, and it's black and white time. I always go black and white, or like very desaturated, contrasty look when it's, as long as we've got something going on in the sky, I'm happy.
Right. I make these Lightroom presets, and one of my presets I named, I hope my daughter doesn't come home with a black and white guy.
That's the name of the preset.
Yeah, that's the name of the preset. It's a winner.
I'm sure it is. That's cool. So
Yeah.
explain us what you're doing with this amazing bus around the world.
So yeah, we're taking a bus for 10 photo walks across Europe. These are all free events. I got started in Lisbon, Barcelona, Milan, here in Paris, a highlight, London, Amsterdam, Berlin, Budapest, Vienna, Moscow. Just taking the bus everywhere except for Moscow, because to get the bus to Moscow, we looked on the map and you have to drive through Iraq.
Oh.
So I thought, well, we'll skip that one.
Yeah.
We'll fly. Yeah, but it's great. It's just a fun party bus. There's like a lounge and a bar and a home theater on there. So me and the crew just riding around and adventuring across Europe and having a great time.
That's great.
Yeah.
And where can people find out if they want to come to your photo walk?
Yeah, just go to 80stays.treyratcliff.com.
80stays.treyratcliff.com. I'll put the link in the video. All right,
Right.
so let's do some photos.
Let's photo walk.
All right.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Au revoir. When I do a photo walk, I always use the high-speed mode because things go really fast, and so you're better off taking 2-3 photos of the same thing than just one photo. So high-speed mode is really good. I shoot manual all the time, based on the light. Usually I underexpose my photo a little bit, especially when you have such a boring sky. And we'll see. We have to create. It's a great challenge because you got like 2 hours or 1.5 hour to create something. So it's kind of interesting. We'll see. All right, so yesterday night I met with Trey Ratcliff, who is doing 80 stays around the world with Trey Ratcliff. He was after Lisbon, Barcelona, Milano, he's in Paris, and then he's going to be in London, Amsterdam, Berlin, Vienna, Budapest, and finish in Moscow. If you want to know where to meet him, just go to this website, 80stays.treyratcliff.com. I'll put the link under this video. So I did a photo walk with him, and as most photo walk, this is, I've been doing a lot of photo walks over the last years. One of this challenge is often the weather is not with you, and I think we had one of the worst weather we could think for a photo walk, and that often happens, which is like, white sky. So you have to get very creative. I'm not going to show you every photo because I took about 100 photo in 2 hours, but I'll show you some of the photos. The first thing that I try to do, and this is what I always do, when there's bad weather, I usually go black and white, and this time I'm going to do something different. The first thing I did is I asked my daughter, she had a very nice blue umbrella, to jump over that little puddle, and I put my camera in high-speed mode, and so I took like a whole bunch of photos, and that's the one I picked. And then on this one, I thought, okay, I need to stylize, to make a style, so at least it's like an Instagram sort of thing. And I wanted to give it like a cold feeling. So the first thing I usually do is I open my shadows, I bring down my highlights, I do my white and my black. And in this case, because there's not much clouds, well, no, anyway, and I'm going to lower my clarity because it helps to take away the halos that you get. If you get too much halos, then you just go, plus 66, minus 70. You don't go as crazy on these sliders, and you won't get so much halos. I'm going to crop this photo because I want to be more on her. Something like this, maybe get that lady out of the way. And it's not my best photo, it's not my best work, but it's just a starting point. So the thing is, one of the best way to stylize something when I'm going to add contrast is to, and I'm going to take out a bit of saturation, not completely, but I'm going to desaturate. So, and maybe even, I'm just going to desaturate, and I'm going to go, one of the best things to do is split toning. Split toning is amazing to give like an Instagram look, or, it's here, split toning. So the way the split toning works is here in the shadows. If you click here, you can add a color only to the shadows. And if you go up, it's a very saturated colors, and if you go down, it's a desaturated color. I want to add some blue or green or tilt. Tilt is the Hollywood movie, the Hollywood look. It's exactly between green and blue. So maybe, like a matrix type of look. And if I go up, it gets very matrix. And if I go down, it's a little less strong. Something like this. And I like to go and do the opposite color in the highlights. So in the highlights, I'm going to go here in the opposite color in the warm. Not too much. Just a little bit of the warm. Okay, and then you can balance it. On the left, you go toward the green. On the right, toward the warm. And you balance it until you have a look that you like. Just give it a look, Maybe add even more saturation, a little more exposure. And then I'm going to go, because I really want to go for a look, I'm going to do some sharpening on it. So, 70 of sharpening maybe, or even actually 90 of sharpening, because I'm shooting at 100 ISO all the time. 10 of noise reduction, and about 50 of masking. If you follow my tutorials, that's the formula I use all the time for 100 ISO photo. I can on about the profile correction, and I'm not going to do the transform because they don't really go well from one photo to another, but I am going to go heavy on the post-crop vignetting, and that's the middle point. A little bit like that. And I'm going to go even more crazy because I really want to stylize this photo, so I'm going to take this circle, I'm going to put it over her, and this time, how I'm going to go to exposure, so which is good, and I want to minus the exposure except on her. And so usually, I always invert the mask and feather. So I'm not gonna feather that much. I'm not gonna invert the mask. I want her to be a little more bright and everything else dark. And then I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna duplicate that. But instead of doing it again, I'm gonna invert the mask this time, and I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna brighten her. So I'm doing two circles. I really want her to be brighter, and then I'm gonna right click and duplicate, and put more attention on the shadows. Okay, so that's a very stylized look. But it's kind of a cool Instagram photo. So once I got a look that I like, I always press Command-Shift-C, and I make sure everything is check all, and then I uncheck crop, because the cropping is going to be different from one photo to the other. But I keep all the local adjustments. Okay, so that was one photo, and then we tried something else. She was actually modeling for the entire photo walk, so I'm not the only one, you know, having her doing this. So that's kind of a cool photo. So Command V to paste all we've done so far, and not so bad. And now all I have to do is go to my radial circle and move them around toward her. Voila. And if I think it's too much, like I don't need this one for the shadows, so I'm going to erase this one. And you know, if you think it's too much or too stylized, you can totally, you know, make it less strong. But I think that's kind of cool. On this one, I want to add a linear gradient here on top. Okay, a little bit of a linear gradient, maybe a second one. Sometimes I like to do two, one for the very top of the sky and one for the entire sky, just to really close the photo too. I'm looking for style here and one more here, so three gradients here. And usually what I do is I'm thinking, okay, maybe this will be better for the next photo. Maybe make it brighter a little more. You know, very stylized. Command Shift C. Copy all this that we did, and let's move to the next type of photo. The next type of photo that I really like was this one, again with my daughter Marine, and I think the one that I picked was this one. The reason is I liked, you know, that we can see the Pont Neuf here on the Pont des Arts. So Command V to copy the last photo that we did, and boom, I get a dramatic look right away. And there is a sensor dust here, which was probably on the other photo and I didn't see it. That's okay. And the light is almost at the right place because, you know, it was always kind of centered. And yeah, you know, when there is bad light, I like to recreate it, you know. And if you think it's too much, you know, I think like the green here and now is getting a little too much because it got darker. And as it gets darker, you know, the color gets more saturated. You're totally free to go back to the split toning, and I can desaturate even more the shadow. So I'm more toward there's less green. Okay, I like that. So, and I always take the last one, Command Shift C to put it into memory, and you know, and I just go through, you know, the different photos. That's another test that I didn't work. Command V to do what I did. No, I think this one doesn't work really well. Let's see what else did I pick. This is photos of Trey's doing a speech. Trey doing a speech. Oh, that was kind of cool. Then I got her with there's always this amazing boat by the Pont Neuf, and I wanted to do like a photo like this. Let me show you. Command V, and so I'm gonna copy last photo, and I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, the motif is really my daughter with her umbrella through the entire photo walk. That was kind of my motif. And yeah, you know, in a split of a second, I kind of like have a cool look. I mean, this would kind of work on Instagram. Maybe make it even brighter, you know, and maybe make this linear darker, and the blacks darker. You have to adapt for every photo, but you know, you get the idea. Bad weather, you have to go for strong looks. Okay, so we try different pose by the boat. That's another one I kind of like, so I can take this one, Command Shift C. I always take the last one, and I put a little 1-star mark on the photo that I kind of like before doing this episode. And wow, it's getting really dark and dark. And you know, if you think that I think really it's too obvious that I dodged this part. So you know, that's the good thing with a non-destructive workflow is you can change things like this, especially this circle. This circle, I can make it more subtle. Voila. Maybe not that bright. Something like this. So that's another one. And I usually go through really fast. Oh, that's another one. It's a classic shot that I take. It's called the Highlander. It's an Irish bar under a little wood thing. So I went very wide on it, and then I went very close on it. I think I'm going to take this one. On this one, I'm going to go for a completely different look. So, you know, I know that the marine, my daughter look won't work, so I'm going to put up shadows. I'm not going to bring down the highlights. One is too dark. I'm going to boost my whites, do my blacks, add some contrast. I'm going to add clarity on this one. When there is no clouds, I always add clarity. And let's see, maybe I'm going to go for a little blue, green, or orange kind of look. I think I want to do my white even more.
I'm just looking for, I'll bring down a bit the highlights now. And because it's raw file, you got so much latitude. Now I want the attention to be here. I think this is too bright, or not. I think it's either too dark or too bright. So you want to make it either brighter or darker to focus the attention on the. I think I'm going to make it a little darker, and maybe this a little darker. I want the attention to be here, and then I can, make one good circle here on the bar itself. Feather it, invert the mask, so we have some attention on the bar. I think I really want to go for a colorful photo on this one, the opposite of what I did so far. So I'm going to add vibrance and saturation. I'm going to boost the brightness even more, and backslash key before, after. Maybe a little too blue, so I can add some yellow. As you change, you're setting your contrast. The color always changes, so you have to adapt your white balance as you go. And I can go here in the post-crop vignetting. I think it's going to work well. I want to do a post-crop vignetting, and I can try to give it a bit of a look. Also, I can try some blue in the shadows, or some greens, a bit of green in the shadows. Okay, and a bit of a bit of warm in the highlights, kind of red warm, and that's kind of cool. And you can balance it toward one or the other. I think something like that works better. And so it's a pretty stylized photo. Let's see, I didn't even check if I was sharp. Yeah, not that sharp. Plus, I shot at a very high ISO. I might have some better ones, but you get the idea. The main thing I want to teach you is if you go black and white, it's kind of cool to give a look. This would totally work on Instagram. And and on this Photowalk with Trey, you have a lot. You have over $10,000 worth of price. You hashtag your photos with 80 days, and you can get a chance to win many prizes. They have a lot of sponsor on this walk. It's just it's really free and it's really cool. I love Photowalks. That's another one that I did with my daughter. So Command V, because I still have in memory the last thing that I did. Let's see if it works. Kind of works on this one. I of course need to move my circles over her, but get a sort of the idea. I was going for a very singular look there. I tried to get her seated, but I didn't like it. Just didn't seem right to me. I didn't like this once. And then I got her. We got into another plaza, and actually like that look. And on this one, I know that look won't work, so I just go ahead again and do my usual workflow. Now on portraits, I don't bring down the highlights so much. Plus this one's a little dark, so I'm just going to boost my white. I'm going to boost the blacks, and let's see here. I'm going to go for a natural look here, and I think the only crazy thing I'm going to do on this one is some heavy post-crop vignetting. Some heavy post-crop vignetting, just so that the attention is really on her. Voila, not the photo of the century, but I give it a 1. This one I give it a 0 because I think actually I like it more when she looks down. She looks kind of sad, but it works for that photo. And last but not least, I did that's one last. So this one is much darker. It was getting dark. So when I'm going to press Command V, what I did is not going to work. I mean, it does a little bit, but not completely. So we have a lot of work to do on this one. And first thing first, the linear filter. I'm going to put this one a little higher up. This one is good, but I need to brush it out from the Notre Dame. So take the brush, hold your Option key, make sure your flow is at 50 and auto mask is on. And once you have that, you've got like an eraser, and I can erase a little bit. I'm not erasing completely. I'm just erasing a little bit the darkness that's on Notre Dame on that linear gradient. And then I'm going to take this other linear gradient, and I'm going to do the same thing here. With the brush. So it's not that dark. Let's see here. I'm going to make this maybe a little higher up. And this. And if it doesn't do enough, you can just boost a little bit the flow of your eraser. That's kind of weird. It's funny. Let me just erase them. It looks like I'm... Oh, that's because it was already dark. Look, it was just dark. That's why I'm trying to... Okay, that was natural. So I just Command Z to undo. So I like that. Now, where is my radial filter? They are here. I want it to be on my daughter. Voila. And yeah, and this one is kind of cool. I kind of like that. Maybe a little darker. No, not so much darker. Let's see. Back's actually before, after. Before, after. Voila. So, you know, very stylized look, but, you know, bad weather is go for a style. You know, you don't have to do the green thing. You can put some warm in the shadows. You know, it just makes the photo a little more interesting. So let's review what we retouched in a few seconds here. We had this one, you know, and this one. At least I have like, you know, this one, I have a sort of a similar type of retouching on all these photos. And, well, except this one was, but still I went into the green and the blue, and it's blurry because it needs to render. When you press F on Lightroom, it just shows the photo. Now it's rendered. And that's another one. This one has more regular look. It's still blurry because it's not rendered, but it's going to be sharp in a sec. You get the idea. And this last photo is probably one of my favorite. I don't know. I just love the mood of the photo. It's probably going to be even better if I waited a little more. Anyway, so that was my photo work with Trey Ratcliff. Two more things. First of all, do not forget about the Hollywoodans. I know I've been talking about it in every single video that I do. The Hollywoodans is coming out on the 16th of May, which is going to be basically in 8 days, basically a week left. If you didn't get a chance to pre-order it, and if you can, that'd be amazing. It's a movie about Hollywood, about reaching your dreams. I think it's a pretty cool movie. We had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you will enjoy it. All you have to do to pre-order it is just follow the link at the end of this video or below this video and pre-order it. Your credit card will only get debited on the 16th of May. Then you can enjoy the movie. But with all the pre-orders around the world, it can help, you know, make this movie a reality. And I will love you for this forever. So that's the first thing. The second thing is my Photoshop for Photographer course is already out, and it's been doing really well. I got some really great reviews, over 66 videos, 21 different projects. If you know, I've been saying it over, but if you really want to learn Photoshop, this is the course you've been looking for. Voilà, mesdames et messieurs, I will see you tomorrow.